The book of Job, chapter 13, and verse 4. But you are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Shalom Yasharallah, which means peace, Israel. I would like to start off by giving our praises, our honor, and our glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Kodash. Yahweh, thou be the true and powerful mighty name, or who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or Ahaya. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai, thou be the true and powerful mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yeshua, or Yeshaya, and the Rahach Hadash is the Holy Spirit, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone who I've learned the truth of the Bible from. Peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, to you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and much love and respect unto you brothers, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom now more so than ever. May Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yawam, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying to the Lord's elect. Look at this. Check this out. Ex-Ouchie Fauci advisor pleads guilty to plotting to conceal C19 research records during the pandemic. A former senior advisor to infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci pleaded guilty Tuesday to plotting to conceal federal records related to research on the origins of the deadly C19 pandemic. And I wonder why. Dr. David Morans is scheduled to be sentenced November 12th by U.S. District Judge Paula Zins in Greenbelt, Maryland. Morans pleaded guilty to conspiring to defraud the U.S. government, a felony punishable by a maximum prison sentence of 5 years. Damn, only 5 years? That ain't long enough, man, because a lot of people, were unalive due to this thing, and people are still being affected by what happened a few years ago. Okay, having to go and dance with Maxine Waters and go down and roll up their sleeve and take the serpent's venom, and now that venom, that poison, is starting to affect all the people that went down there and did that thing, that trusted in Egypt. Okay, which let me get that real quick. Okay, because see, all you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. You also have the Israelite foreigners who are likened unto a speckled bird who look like the heathen nations because they were scattered amongst the heathen nations. However, the bloodline and the lineage goes back onto Jacob by way of their fathers. Okay? All you Israelites that took this thing, I mean, that's really what y'all get what y'all deserve. Okay? Because you had the men of the Lord, starting with the elders and apostles of great millstone, and the rest of the brothers, teachers, and prophets, warning y'all and telling y'all not to take this thing. And this is not medical advice or medical information. Okay? I'm just a man doing a video, educational purposes, all right? But this is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. What sorrow awaits my rebellious children? And this is the NLT version. You make plans that are contrary to mine. You make alliances not directed by my spirit, thus piling up your sins. Okay, going down there and trusting in the government. For without consulting me, you have gone down to Egypt for help. Egypt, modern day Egypt, is America. Okay, according to Revelation, it's referred to as spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. Talk about America, Babylon the Great, because it's Egypt, because this is, the primary land of the Israelites' captivity. And then the Sodom, that goes without explaining. Okay. But verse 2, For without consulting me, you have gone down to Egypt for help. You have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection, trust in the science. Okay? You have tried to hide in his shade by trusting in the science, trusting in their system, okay, trusting in the ways of this world. And now look at y'all. Through. Then got some stuff inside your body that's foreign, that's not supposed to be in there. But verse 3, by trusting Pharaoh, you will be humiliated. And by depending on him, you will be disgraced. Right. Because now all this information that's coming out about uh the serpent's venom, now all y'all people look stupid that went down there and did it. Sitting here falling out with friends, okay, friends and family relationships were destroyed, all due to people not wanting to go and roll up their sleeve, which is ridiculous. Okay, but that's what y'all get for trusting in man and not trusting in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Let me get it here. Just, no. That was a chapter off. All right, this is Psalms 118 and 8. It is better to trust in the Lord, Yahweh, than to by Hashem Yahweh Shai than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in Yahweh than to put confidence in princes. Right. Okay. It's better to, trust in the Most High and his prophets, his mouthpiece, than trusting in, your government. Okay. Because that's what it means when it's talking about, your princes, talking about your government officials. Broken tooth. Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 19. And it reads, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. In NLT, it reads, putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking with a lame foot. Okay, and both of those experiences are painful. Okay, both of those experiences are painful. So look back to the article. So by pleading guilty today, Dr. Morins has taken responsibility for what he did, and he will continue to do so, defense attorney Tim Belovitz said in a statement after a plea hearing. Morins is accused of using his private email account to intentionally circumvent public record laws while employed at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. The Justice Department alleges that he concealed or destroyed records of discussions related to C19 research grants, including an effort to revive a controversial CV grant. The indictment follows a probe by House Republicans into the origins of the C19 pandemic that scrutinized Morin's email communications and accused him of intentionally concealing records and congressional testimony. Morins denied attempting to evade federal transparency laws by using his personal email. In July, Fauci repeatedly invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination during a congressional hearing on his handling of the C19 pandemic. This Morins guy, he could be the fall guy. Okay, he could be the fall guy for Fauci. You never know. Okay, because Fauci's not going to get away. Ouch. invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination during the congressional hearing of his handling of the C-19 pandemic last Friday. Fauci declined a request to appear voluntarily before a second Senate panel after majority Republicans on the Homeland Security Committee voted along partisan lines to hold him in contempt of Congress. Fauci wasn't charged in the case against Mowens. And that's the end of the article, man. So, yeah, man. So, Job 13:4 again, but you are all forgers of lies and you are physicians of no value. Right. Because he was just telling, what they was really running an experiment on you people. And majority of y'all fell for the okie doke. So how much more of y'all are going to fall for the okie doke when it's time to take the MOTB, when they make that mandatory? A lot of y'all are going to fall for the okie doke. Okay. Uh, let's get the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy. Okay. And according to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, these red Hebrew Edomites, which is a self-proclaimed so-called white man, all right, are enemies, along with the rest of these heathen nations. You have Moab, the Chinese, Ammon, the Japanese, Elam, the East Indians, Ishmael, the Arabs, all right, Ham, the Africans, Japhetic, the Samoans, and the Pacific Islanders, man. Sad to say, not sad to say, okay, but there are enemies, okay, and the ones, you know, seem to mesh well with our people, low key, could be Israelites, okay, that just look like the heathen nations because they were scattered amongst the heathen nations, all right. But back to the scriptures: never trust thy enemy, these heathen nations, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yeah, doing the scammed easy, they came with all, these fair speeches, these smooth words to, win over the minds of the people to trust them and to go down and get injected with the serpent's venom. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Okay? Yeah, in order to get rid of rust, once something starts rust, you got to cut it off before it spreads. Okay, because rust is similar to cancer. Okay, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or such, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? Okay, so you have those snake charmers. Okay, you be playing the flute, and the snake come out the basket and just like dancing to the rhythm of the flute. If he get bit, who gonna feel sorry for him? Because he knew the consequences. He knew the risk that he was taking by messing with that wild animal. Okay, like you got those like shit, goddamn crocodile hunter. Okay, I didn't really feel bad for him when he died because he knew the risk. He knew what he was getting himself into. going around all those wild animals. So the same thing. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you people, okay, for trusting for continuing to trust in these devils, man. Okay. I know it's a lamentation. Let's see, save us. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, hold on. Yeah, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. Yeah, because these a the help of these nations is vain, is empty. Okay, always gonna come with some type of interest, some type of stipulation, not just helping off GP. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. In the NLT, it reads, we looked in vain for our allies to come and save us, but we were looking to nations that could not help us. All right. And that's Jake, man. Steady looking for these people that brought us over here in chains or had some type of hand in getting in enslaving us and bringing us over here. Okay. Because every nation had their way with Israel. Okay. So let's go back here. Back to Sirach 12. Where was I? Okay. Verse 15. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. Those smooth words, those fair speeches to, get you to lower your defenses and your guard. And once he do that, here he comes for the killing blow. But in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Yeah, they not, because at the end of the day, they can kill you, but ultimately what they really want is control over you. Okay, that's their end goal. If adversity comes upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. That's why the help of these nations is vain, because all they're doing is pretending to help us, so later on down the line they can undermine us. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Yeah, they'll turn to a whole nother person then. They ain't gonna be that sweet little old lady anymore, or that calm, gentle, you know white spirit they try to put on. Now they gonna show their true Edomite nature then, that primal rage. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, so when the Edomite, when a pale pink peach skinned person, red skinned person comes with some smooth words and fair speeches, beware. Okay, because he has an ulterior motive in the forefront. I ain't gonna say the back of his mind, but in the forefront of his mind. So yes, beware. Okay, man. You got to be circumspect here in these last days, man. You take heed to the messengers that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai have set up on the earth. Okay? Get out your feelings. Get your head out your ass. Okay? Bring your pride and your ego down. Humble yourself. Okay? Because that's the only way, you'll be able to start to grasp this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You have to first humble yourself as well as believe. Okay? So I'm going to bring this lesson to a close. I pray and hope that the edification was made. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, giving double honors to the apostles, elders, and great millstone. Peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect and to you believers and listeners out there. Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, and a Bible ball.